So this is going to be a regular video where I vent my spleen about some game that's wronged me. This can be from the past or a new game that I've got, and obviously if I'm getting my complete GameCube collection going, there's going to be some crap, so really expect some really rubbish games in this section. The first game I'm going to look at in the 10 things I hate about you video is Battle Arena Toshinden on the PS1. Just a bit of context about the game. The game was the second game that I bought for the PS1, and it was more or less around release as well. So it's a game I've had for a hell of a long time, and I only really realised how shit it was about a month after I got it. So yeah, here's the book of hate, as it were. I've got my 10 things that I dislike about the game, so I'm just going to read them out to you. Okay, number one, it's the fact that the game promises so much and delivers so fucking little, to be honest. Excuse my language, but I will be ranting on this. After playing Tekken, it was the second fighting game that I bought, and you look at the graphics on the back of it and you think that this is excellent, yeah. Open up the case, look at the instruction book, and it looks like almost like a 3D version of Samurai Showdown. But when you actually start playing it, you realise that a lot of the characters are rip-offs. The game itself is extremely shoddy, and it was shoddy at the time as well. It's not just me looking back on the game; it's terrible. It has to be said. But yeah, that premise and the promise of this amazing 3D fighting game really doesn't live up to it at all. The second item is an item that's close to my heart. The game cost me, back in the day, 30 quid. Used. Wasn't even new. 30 quid for a game that's clearly inferior in every shape and form to the fighting games that were out at the time. I'm thinking Tekken. I'll revert back to Tekken a lot because they were kind of out at the same time. I mean, even the Virtua Fighter series plays better, to be honest. And 30 quid then was steep, but as I say, it was not long after the PS1 came out and prices for the games were inflated. I mean, the original Tekken cost me £50 around about the Christmas, because basically there was one copy left and there was loads and loads of hype surrounding the game. So obviously the second-hand market of the PS1 was quite inflated as well. Right, so item 3 is going on to Tekken. Yeah, the first game I bought for my PS1 was Tekken. Absolutely loved it. Spend hours and hours on it round at my friend's house. Then I bought the console, played hours on it. And for the month that I played Battle Arena is a month that I didn't play Tekken when I should have played it. I look on the time playing Battle Arena Toshinden as taking time away from Tekken. It's almost dead time. So that's my third point. Point number 4 is the fact that the game looks really crap. I remember the reviews back in the day again, but back on the game's release, kind of praising the Gorad shading on it, because I believe it was something that never happened outside of the PC, and they were talking about the lighting effects. I always thought the lighting effects looked quite fake. They looked impressive at the time, but they didn't look natural. Whereas Tekken's looked a little more natural, has to be said. I mean, looking back on them, they don't look great, but for a game that was really praised for its graphics, they're not good. I mean, the polygons are jaggy, the textures are, as I say, just not natural. The animation's not great. So yeah, that's my point. It looks crap, and it's always looked crap. Okay. Number 5 is the control system. Yeah, the control system, again, it's not great. Pulling off special moves seems to be a bit of a chore, and slightly hit and miss, not natural. At the time, even 2D fighters special moves were getting kind of more complex, whereas Toshinden's got, there seems to be kind of generic moves that you see in a Street Fighter game and are dropped into a 3D game, and it doesn't work properly. It really doesn't work properly. I mean, there are bits where you can jump in and out of the screen and kind of rotate around people, but you do that on screen, the background doesn't move around, and as much as let's say a modern game or Tekken at the time, and it's just really unnatural and doesn't seem to use that third dimension very well. Yeah, I've written down here a 3D universe with 2D controls, which I think probably sums up my point. Right, yeah. My next exception is with the cover art on the game. I seem to remember that the Japanese version was quite nice. On this one, I don't think it's westernized, but it looks like someone's taken some kind of Japanese manga drawing and just kind of generically coloured it in, and it just looks a bit cheap and looks a bit tacky and just not nice, really. I'll check out the Japanese box art from the same time, and if it's the same as that, I'll eat my hat, because I'm sure it will be a hell of a lot nicer. As I say, I don't think it's Western art, but yeah, it looks bad. Doesn't really tell you anything about the game. Oh, there's a sword in it and 2 dragons. There's swords in it. Yeah, okay. I know box art's not important, but it's a thing. It's having an overall nice package, and yeah, it doesn't. Okay, point number 7 are the backgrounds in the game are very generic. Kind of around the ring, you've sometimes got kind of statues, and you've got kind of stone obelisks, and there's even like a homage to Stonehenge as well, in kind of dodgy polygons. But the actual background further back are just kind of generic hill images and flat images, and they're not very kind of inspired, to be honest. And I mean, arguably say that doesn't really detract on the gameplay or anything, but a little bit more imagination would be nice. I seem to remember that some of the later bosses, some of the backgrounds are just kind of almost like flash effects and fireworks in the background, in a completely dark black environment. Just boring as hell. At least with Tekken and Virtua Fighter to a lesser degree at the time. There was a little bit of variation there.